Well, hi YouTube, M0WBK here again. Now, I thought we'd show you the Kenwood TS-2000. Had this radio for quite some time, and she's a lovely old girl, if I might say so myself. Not the best radio in the world, not the best for HF, not the best for VHF or UHF, but overall a very good all-rounder. I've worked all over the world on HF on one of these, and pretty much all over Europe as well on 2 meters SSB, but not something I go in for these days on the 2 meter band. So thought we'd just give you a bit of a listen really, and just show you the old girl. They don't make them no more, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully Kenwood will bring out something to replace them in the future. I think there's a market for it. I mean, these started off, there was upgrades to them. They wasn't particularly good at the beginning. Then there was issues, filter issues and things like this. This is one with that doesn't have any issues, never and hasn't done. It's one of the serial number corresponds with the updated filters and so on. So anyway, let's turn her on and have a bit of a listen. There we are. Bit noisy on the bands here. This is on 20, obviously. As you can hear, I think there's a contest on. Let's knock it down to 40. As you could see there, it's relatively easy to get rid of some QRM with the high shift here and the low. You know, you can open it right up there. There we go. 5,000 hertz. Normally have it around, excuse me, around there. The ATU in the TS-2000, not too bad. It'll match, you know, quite a bit really. I'm using a remote ATU. It's an MFJ that's at the base of a 10 meter vertical, which of course is nicely resonant for the 40 meter band. but it does tune up and work relatively well on 20 and of course 15 and 17 as well. Not too bad. A little bit too big for 10 meters and so on, but it still works. But this works quite nicely for 40 meters, 20 meters. Works out about a half wave, I think. Preamp on these, of course, you don't need that on the lower bands. Attenuations, audio with the processor on SSB, very, very good, as most Kenwoods are. Have a little play with it, get it right, and you won't get any complaints at all. Just the opposite. You're likely to be told how nice your audio is. Lots of buttons on the 2000, and can be a bit daunting. And if you've got big fingers, they can be a bit small as well. I quite like the radio. Plenty to do with it. If we went into one, there's crossband, of course, satellite. Then we can go over onto the other receiver, the other VFO for VHF, just by pushing the button there, as you can see. Plenty of memories, plenty of things to play with. If not a little, you've got to work it out. Read the manual possibly would be a good idea. Stuff up here, RIT, XIT, which uses that and works the sub. Multi-channel knob, does numerous things. Nice to go up in steps. Menus, brightness, all nice and easy. There's the multi-channel control knob. As you can see, it scrolls across, telling you what it is. Scan ranges, beat volumes, output configurations, and so on for linears and whatever. S-meter squelch, RX equalizer, TX equalizer. You can play to get your audio just right. If you use the Kenwood program, you can set that up as a user. One there. With the microphone, I'm using the high boost and a little bit of processing. Seems to work really nicely. Filter bandwidth. Transverter. It's all in there. Not bad if you're into CW. Not the best, but not bad at all. FM mic gain. And all the usual suspects for setting it up with the computer and so on. There's a lot in there. Repeater functions, Sky. So there's a lot in there, and it does take some time, especially if you're new to the hobby. It's a great radio to have, but you've got to put the time in to work it out. We could go on here for ages and ages. Power output, 100 watts, a good 100 watts as well. No messing about. Average power is excellent. I know some people with some of the other Kenwood units, 590s, etc. Didn't think the power was up to much. Of course, they wasn't using a true PEP meter to get it. But power output on this, just over 100 watts roughly. Nearly all the bands it's 100 watts, slightly under by a couple, slightly over. The main thing with this is it's always going to sound good with one of these. There's lots of features in there that we just haven't got time to go into. On here, it's very, very basic, but there's even a very a basic band scope, which I never knew was on there really until relatively recently, looking through the manual. Lots in there. Would I recommend the Kenwood TS-2000? Absolutely. Absolutely. Great rig. Well worth having. You can pick them up these days. £500, £600. You see one that's been around the block a few times. I've seen them for 400, but it's 700 for a real nice one, I think, with the box, and they're going to last you for years. All I would say is make sure you get one that's got the good filters. Plenty of information on the internet regarding serial numbers and so on, which ones are which. That's the only thing I would say. But yeah, great radio. There we go. That's about it, really. Just a look at, little listen to, and my thoughts on the Kenwood TS-2000. 7-3 for now from M0WBK, and don't forget to subscribe, guys. We're nearly up to the 1,000 subscribers. It's 900 and something. So get over that, and that would be great. So thanks a lot, and we'll sign off for now. Cheers.